subscribe, share these videos with your mates. That's how I get access to more boats. And if you're comparing this boat with another boat, drop it in the comments down below, because that's how I know what boats you want me to film. Let me know. Keep up the communication. Love you lots. Okay, this setup has got the twin 300 horsepower V8s. We're running half a tank of fuel at the moment. We've got 3 people on board and some equipment, and the wind is blowing that direction. So right now we're in the shadow of the wind, and I'm running at 3,500 RPM, giving me a speed return of about 26.5 knots to 27 knots, and that's giving me a fuel flow of 38 litres per motor. Okay, and I'm doing litres, not gallons. I'm going to be ducking around the corner here in a second, get straight into the wind chop, which is the reason to buy a boat like this. And I'll just make some observations. I'm just watching out for tourist boats, fishermen's nets and traffic. Okay, all clear, all clear. So coming around at 27 knots, and I'm going to increase the speed on the downwind run and go into the wind first. So when you're got short, sharp conditions, it's always advantageous whenever possible to point the bow into the choppy stuff and just cut it up. Use the design to your favour. This is not like an American boat, which is just using weight and mass to its favour and just wants to bash in from every angle. That's not the idea behind an adventure hull like this, so that's cutting in quite nicely. 27 knots, let's bear away and go downwind. Hard-ish turn, increasing power, staying dry, lots of control. The electric steering is less direct than the hydraulic steering. You have massive benefits, but I'm going to put that down to a little tiny disadvantage if you've driven hydraulics before. If you've never driven hydraulics before, you might not notice, but the direct feel just disappears a little bit when you go to the electrics. Obviously, having the joystick is a huge benefit. Going through some wash here, and I'm going to increase my speed, 4,000 RPM, giving me a fuel flow of 58 litres per motor, 33 knots, trimming up on the engines. Let's increase. 4,700 RPM, 80 litres a side. Let's increase. 42 knots, 43, increasing in the mostly protected water. I'm seeing 5,300 RPM, give it a little bit more, trim up, 5,400 RPM. I am seeing 47 knots, 48 knots, 90 litres a side. This thing is a rocket ship. There's 5,700 RPM, and we saw a fuel flow right up there, so let's bring it back to a more sensible number now. So I think your fast cruise is going to be somewhere in that 4,000 to 4,500 RPM, giving us a 36 knot SOG, fuel flow of 60 litres per side. She's direct, she's fun, she's sporty. I'm going to do a little bit of a hard turn in a second, coming around and going to be turning to port, engines down, clear, and so that's where you notice the electric steering, not as direct, still very controllable, no issues there. You want to hold on tight. This boat will hold a hard turn if you want it to. Visibility's great, as you'd expect from a Saxdor, and just all around good fun. Straight back through my choppity chop, and back to a normal cruise speed, which I think what so many of you are going to be looking at a boat like this for. It's to transit moderate distances, like what we have here in Thailand and Phuket, from island to island. You're a busy person, you don't have time to sail at 6 knots, you want to cruise at 26 to 36, which is totally possible. 3,500 RPM, 26, burning under 40 litres of motor. Just bump that up one more time to 4,000 RPM. I'm burning 50 to 53 litres per motor, and then finally at 4,500 RPM, bit of a happy place between that 4.2 to 4.5, to be fair, because right there at 4.3, she feels like she's in the groove, to be fair. 4.3, 60 litres, SOG 35, happy freaking days. Let's go somewhere and talk to you about the slow speed manoeuvrability. And welcome to Thailand! Guys, I've tested easily over 1,000 boats over the last 30 years from power to sail. So if my experience could help you buy the best boat for your boat life, the only way to contact me and ask me those questions, it's on Connect. Link is down below. So who's best suited to a Saxdor 320 and what did I just notice on the 2025 model? The demographic, this is a bit of a wide net, I believe, because it's such a convenient hull. It is quite fuel efficient. It's very, very fun to drive. So you can cover quite a few bases. So if you've come from a sports cruiser and you're sick of battling short and sharp chop with a fuller bow and a less efficient hull, you're going to see an incredible amount of value in owning something like this. You may have less accommodation, so decide whether that's going to suit you or not, but think, what is my mission? Am I doing more day boating, less overnighting? Then you might see answer, or that might answer it for yourself. If you're coming from other sporty fun boats, it's definitely worth a comparison. But if you're also just looking for something to support your bigger boat, perhaps tow behind your bigger boat, or just use as the tender, it'll serve that role incredibly well as well, I believe. And if you're just looking for your first fast boat, it's still kind of beginner friendly. This thing's quite easy to drive. You can smack it through a lot of conditions that you probably shouldn't, and you'll get away with it. In saying that, I've watched a lot of guys that haul over inlet essentially just doing the wrong thing, and this is an adventure style bow. They're perfectly safe and fun in the ocean, but if you punch it at speed into the back of a stand-up wave, you're going to get a lot of green water up on deck. So just be aware of that. Drive to the conditions. If you're coming in and you've got outgoing tide, big incoming seas, just stick on the back of a wave. Don't go rock and roll and try and hammer over the wave at speed. You'll end up on TV. We'll all look at you, and then some people will go, "Oh, that's a shitty hull." And I'm telling you right now, it's not. I've done hundreds of hours in big seas all around the world on all sorts of adventure hulls like this, and they're great. But the one condition where you are going to introduce a lot of water up and over the decks, it's in those bar situations. So just consider that. So yeah, I do believe it's a wide net. I do believe the resale or the brokerage market for this concept, Saxdor and others, is going to be one that lasts into the future. So I can see people coming out of sailing boats, getting into boats for the first time, and coming out of other designs of boats, all being attracted into this market. So it's a bit of a safe bet, even though it is a boat. You're buying fun, you're not buying an investment, so don't compare it as such. But it's not like buying a super niche at that was just designed for racing or fishing, for example, where maybe you're going to expose yourself to some resale risk at the other end. So yeah, I do think it's that wide net, as I said. What did I notice compared to the 2021 boat? Lots of little things. There was a lot of movement in the 2021 boat. So all of those noises and movement that I picked up, admittedly I was in bigger seas, but you do also notice in short, sharp chop, a lot of that seems to have been ironed out. That roof is so much better. The hull does feel stiffer. Not so sure I love the electronic steering, but I can get used to it because, once again, we're utilising its benefits right now. So I understand the trade-off, but that's a little bit of a less fun factor in terms of the direct steering. But the hull itself, the refinements, feels like a much more well put together boat is the terminology I'm going to use. So if you're comparing a 2021 like we did on the first video on this channel to a 2025, you are really going to notice a lot of differences. And if you were comparing a used Saxdor to a new Saxdor, look at the price factor, because there's definitely value in going for the new right now if the price gap's not too large. What would you compare it with? Well, definitely an Axopar. That's a fair comparison. The new 29, albeit a little bit smaller, is a fair comparison. The Nimbus T9 as well. And there's plenty of others. So you can contact me on Connect if you're unsure about your decision. But as a whole, this is probably the best, or one of the best adventure boats on the market for the size and the money. That's my thoughts. Hope you enjoy it.